This was the week where the president kept up the charade that he won, and he appears to be losing over and over and over again in this Trumpian episode of Black Mirror that the entire country is also stuck in. A full 34 lawsuits, one of which confused the states of Michigan and Missouri, I believe, have been brought by the Trump legal team and have all been dismissed. And Rudy Giuliani is sweating out his hair dye and quoting My Cousin Vinny, a movie he says he loves, mostly because he married his cousin Vinny.
Indeed.
In an interview, former attorney, as of a couple hours ago, Sidney Powell said that the team will be filing a lawsuit in Georgia that will be, quote, biblical. And by that, she probably means 1,200 pages full of myths that Donald Trump has not read. No disrespect, John.
None taken. I'm with you.
Of course, this is after, and I don't know if you guys have read this, the Trump team floated the idea this week that Hugo Chavez, the very dead former president of Venezuela, was responsible for Trump's loss because he rigged voting machines 10 years ago.
Right.
That were then bought by a company in the U.S. and programmed to flip votes for Biden in some Bolivarian inception.
Yes.
Like, this is crazy, dude. And like, if socialism can do that, if really the Bolivarian revolution did that, I say, gracias, comandante Chavez, para siempre, no? Hasta la victoria. BT Dubs, RIP to, the career of Sidney Powell.
Oh, yeah.
The Trump team just released a statement that says she's practicing law on her own. She's not a member of the Trump legal team. She's not a lawyer for the president in his personal capacity. What the hell, John? When does this end?
It's like they fired the bass player from the band and just announced it in a tweet.
It's so rude.
We wish her luck on her solo career.
Yeah, she wrote like some hits or whatever, but anyway, it's time. We just had like creative disagreements.
Yeah, we came together a long way. We have so many great memories back when we were a young band in Hamburg, denying election results with no evidence and telling judges we had no evidence, but then telling press conferences we did. Boy, we bonded back then, didn't we? That's where we learned to groove together. But now we've grown out differently, and she's married a Japanese performance artist, and we're just going a different direction. It's not working anymore.
Damn. I feel like that actually happened to you, John. That was so specific. You were like...
Happened to one band I can think of, but yeah. Please continue, because I find her hilarious. I find all of this so good for democracy.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of going out with dignity has completely vanished, right? Like,
why start now? I mean, right. This thing began with a press secretary lying about crowd size for an inauguration, and it ends with a press secretary lying about crowd size at a million MAGA march.
Yes.
In between, you had two other lying press secretaries that we don't talk about. Trump has a choice. He can go out like a man, and he can have people say positive things about him in history, and give up control graciously. Yeah, he could do it. He could do one thing right. Or he can still send out dozens, and I mean dozens, I'm on the mailing list, dozens of email fundraising letters a day from Trump 2020, and try to bleed these MAGAs for another $1 million a day. Promise, Rudy, I'll give you 20 grand of my million a day I make, and have one last presidential fleecing before he leaves and tries to fleece them all from the private sector. He's $900 million in debt. And he knows it's over. So This whole thing is just, and the media is kind of playing dumb about it, laughing at these folks. But again, it's another symptom of the fact that this was always a grift on not the deplorables, but the gullibles. And the gullibles are the reason. And it comes back to Christianity. The people who believe in a talking snake, but think love your enemies was just metaphor and shit.